What is bridging early and bridging late? What is bridging early? What is bridging late? That's the question. And I'm going to answer that for you. What is early or what is late is the engagement of what we call at the Vocalist Studio your intrinsic anchoring set or your intrinsic musculature. Now that's fancy voice lesson talk for small inside muscles that are in and around your larynx in the laryngeal region that we need to build strength and coordination for that will enable us to bridge and connect and essentially make your head voice or vibratory mechanism M2 sound huge and boomy. It's a lot about strength building and coordinating muscles. That's why we train, that's why we work out. So when we refer to bridging early, essentially what that means is the singer will get out of belt mode. The singer will let go or release the musculature that's involved in belting in the chest voice earlier in time so that they can reap the benefits of rebuilding a new intrinsic musculature in the head voice. Now, I'll say that again. Early bridging means that the muscles, the musculature involved in belting or singing high chest voice notes are released or relaxed earlier in time for the benefit of the singer to be able to get to a headier position earlier in time because they would want to do that. When you bridge early, it tends to give you a light mass phonation. If you're somebody that enjoys light mass singers like Steve Perry or Bruno Mars, then training early bridging techniques is probably something you might be interested in. This is an example of what early bridging sounds like. Okay, now that's an early bridge. I did not engage my intrinsic musculature too far. I actually let go and relaxed my intrinsic musculature and I went to my head voice a little bit earlier and I rebuilt, I recalibrated or reconfigured my musculature here in the head voice after bridging. That's an example of early bridging. Now, the benefit of early bridging is, one, if you're the kind of guy that wants to have light mass singing, if you like the style of light mass singing, then early bridging will give you that sound. Also, early bridging is less fatiguing. Bridging early is far, far less fatiguing and is a lot less risky to you, the beginner student of technique. Okay, and that's an important point. Now, I work with a lot of beginners, I work with a lot of students of singing. So early bridging skill sets and techniques are important at TVS because I don't want my students choking and pushing and pulling chest. Okay? Now, the risk of early bridging is simply this. If all you ever do is bridge early in a light mass configuration, then you'll never work the muscles that need to be worked in order to sound more beefy or more boomy in the head voice, because sometimes we want to sound more beefy or sound more belty in the head voice. We want that sometimes. The song or the band or the situation may call for it. So if all you're ever doing is bridging early, then you'll simply never going to lift the weight that's required. You're never going to get the resistance training that you need to be able to bridge later or to bridge with more M1 or chest voice musculature involved, which is what really bridging late really means. Okay, so let's talk about bridging late. Bridging late is essentially I'm going to deploy or maintain my chest voice musculature or vibratory mechanism M1 or I'm oversimplifying, but essentially my belt instincts, my belt configuration, I'm going to pull my belt configuration a little bit higher. I'm going to try to take that musculature a little bit higher before I completely release into the head voice. In fact, late bridging probably would imply that I'm going to take more musculature all together with me into the head voice a little bit more. Now, when you do this, it makes you sound more belty. It makes your head voice sound a bit boomier, a bit beefier. This is an example of me bridging late, or more accurately, bringing more M1 musculature up with me. I'm pulling musculature up with me into my head voice for the purpose of sounding more belty. There was a lot more musculature involved in that phonation. It was the same notes as the early bridge, but it was a bit beefier, you see, because I engaged the musculature more. Now, that's all there is to it. It's just about how much musculature you bring up to the head voice with you. Now, the benefits of bridging late are it sounds cool. It sounds big and boomy. It sounds belty. It's great if you're a rocker, and it's something that everybody should aspire to do. Now, the risk of late bridging is that because you have to bring more chest voice or belt-like musculature up higher, because you're pulling M1 musculature higher for beginner students. Not advanced singers, not professionals in LA that have been doing all their life and are teaching people how to sing and are, really talented singers. Not for me, not for Bruce Dickinson, not for people that have a lot of physical strength and experience, but for beginners, for new students of singing, to come out of the gates and ask somebody to begin bridging early or to work on your bridging skills with more muscle tension, I personally believe is a risk to you, the student of singing. Some people will be able to kind of, figure it out. Others will never be able to figure it out. They'll be trying to bridge late because they heard that's what you should do, and all they'll ever achieve is constriction, choking, flat notes, and get nowhere, okay? So it is important to learn to bridge late because it sounds great. It makes your phonations more beefy up on top, if that's the sound that you want. But those of you that are new to singing, beware, be careful, because it's a slippery slope. It's a tar baby. You can easily get into choking and pulling chest and engaging muscles that we don't want to engage, that are unhealthy, that could hurt you, and aren't going to help you to learn to sing any better. Okay? So that is the bridging early versus bridging late lecture. And the moral of the story is learn to do both. If you want to sound a little bit more light mass, more lyrical, more like kind of like Steve Perry, and you want to limit your risk of constricting and be less fatigued, bridge early. If you want to sound a bit beltier, if you want to sound a bit beefier, higher, and a little bit meatier on your notes, then work on your late bridging techniques. At the end of the day, it's less about time and more about what you're doing with your musculature and how you're training the muscles in and around your larynx. Now, if you give me a call or you send me an email, contact me at the Vocalist Studio, because in our product, the 4 Pillars of Singing, we cover all of this. There are training workflows and workouts, explanations, lectures, and videos that are available to you that will teach you how to do both early bridging and late bridging. So, I hope that's helpful for you guys. And having said that, I wish you a nice evening, and send me an email if you have any questions. Take care.